Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to look at the differences between public and private services. We'll start off with something simple. Let's say you have a cookie recipe you want to share with the world. You create some video tutorials and recipes that you want to share on the internet. You can host all of this data and information on making the best cookie ever, all on an S3 bucket, where anyone from around the world can access this information, so they can too make the best cookie ever. Because let's face it, you're an amazing baker, right? This is what we would call a public service in AWS, because anyone can access this information. This S3 bucket will have a public IP attached to it, so anyone can get to the content of your S3 bucket and start making some cookies. I'll start by asking you how your network at home is exposed to the internet. If you have a laptop or a desktop, I'm assuming it's not publicly available to the internet for anyone to just ping or remote in. Or maybe you do have a VPN setup that allows private network connections into your home network. If you have good security practices, you probably have MFA or multi-factor authentication or some type of IP limitation into your network. But the point here is that it's closed off to the internet. This is how a private service in AWS is set up. Now, in AWS, we have something similar called a VPC, which stands for Virtual Private Cloud, which allows you to launch AWS resources in a virtual network that you have defined. It resembles what a traditional network that you would operate in your own data center, but with the amazing benefits like elasticity and economies of scale that AWS has to offer. In this virtual data center, or VPC, we can launch as many AWS services like EC2 instances, RDS databases, DynamoDB databases, and so on, as we need to meet our workload demands. And these services will have private internal IP addresses to communicate with each other inside of the VPC. But the point is, they would be closed off to the internet, because just like in your data center or home network, you wouldn't want a malicious person accessing this private information that is critical to your company's workload. Now, we can add things like an internet gateway so that the services have some internet connectivity, but that would only apply to services that live in this public subnet. We can also add things like VPNs and direct connect routes so we can have more secure connections to our VPC. You would also want security groups and network access control lists to limit who can access what, but we will talk more about those later in this course. I hope in this video you learned more about public and private services in AWS and are starting to form an idea of how you can leverage the cloud to meet your company's workload requirements, and also that you can share your amazing cookie recipes with the world. I'll see you in the next video.